Since coming off Love Island, I have had quite a few people actually asking for a bit of a makeup tutorial, makeup routine. A lot of people were interested in knowing more about the makeup that I did in the villa. So I thought that I would do a more in-depth video. I have popped a video up on my TikTok of my Love Island makeup routine that I wore in the villa, but I thought I'd do a bit of a more detailed video because I did rush through things a bit. So hopefully you guys find this helpful. I'm not a makeup artist and I don't know how much you should trust me. Basically everything that I've picked up is just trial and error through the years. Lots of makeup tutorials, lots of error. But yeah, so hopefully you guys find something useful in this and something you can add to your own makeup routine. I always start with my eyebrows first. I use the Benefit Brow, I don't know what this is. I think it's like a pomade. When I fill in my eyebrows, I just go with the natural shape of my brow. I just pretty much fill in any gaps where my eyebrows aren't as full, which is usually like my arch. And then from my arch, I'll go down with the brush and just create a little bit of a tail. When it comes to the front of the brow, I'll start to do upwards strokes just to mimic the eyebrow hairs at the front because you don't want it to be like too like blocky. I love this Benefit eyebrow product because it literally just stays on through everything. Probably could have put this on at the start of the day in the villa and it would still be on at night. After you've done your brows, they'll usually be looking a little more like sisters than twins, but that's okay. Mine are looking like cousins right now, but that's fine because we're going to carve them out with concealer. I have the Tarte Shape Tape and also a Born This Way concealer by Too Faced, and I will alternate between the two depending on how tan I am. I had both of these when I was in the villa. You're really killing two birds with one stone with this step. Firstly, what I'm doing is carving out my brows so that they have a clean shape. So this will just help you clean it up and create like a sharper brow. And it will also help you to create a base for your eyeshadow. So I literally always use concealer before my eyeshadow. So I'll put concealer on and then I'll set it. I feel like this just helps your eyeshadow stay on for way longer. Don't know if it actually does anything or not because I've always done this before my eyeshadow, so I could be wrong, but I do it every time I do my makeup. There's something about this step which is just so satisfying. Maybe it's because I haven't plucked my eyebrows in a very long time. Using a beauty blender or like a sponge or even a makeup brush or your finger even will do the job. I'll just kind of blend out that concealer so it's not as harsh. With a fluffy brush and some translucent setting powder, I'll just go over where I placed the concealer on my lid. It'll just help you blend out your eyeshadows and like you won't have like the color stuck to one spot of your eyelid. The palette I used pretty much every night when I was in the villa was the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This is just like a really good palette. Like I always go for warm tones. It just has like a really nice selection of warm tones. I use it like every time I go out. I highly recommend for your eyeshadow investing in some good brushes. You probably only need to get like these two. You could honestly get away with just using these two for blending out eyeshadow. So I've got like one quite fluffy brush. This one's from Zoeva, and then another Zoeva brush is like a more compact brush. I always start with like a light brown, like a sand beigey brown, and then I'll work this into my crease. This will be your transition color and it will just help all of the other eyeshadows to blend better. I try to concentrate all of the color in the crease and then gradually bring it out and wing it out a bit like this. I wish I could give you like more of an explanation of what I'm doing, but I honestly feel like this brush is doing all of the work for me. It's pretty much just doing sweeping motions like this. Some nights when I was in the villa, I wouldn't do my makeup too dark, so I would leave my crease like this and then put just something shimmery on the lid. But then usually I put a little bit more on because why not? So I'll gradually start making it the colors deeper and darker, probably with like these 3 N shades. Once I start doing eyeshadow, I find it very hard to stop. So usually it will end up a lot more dramatic than I had ever intended, but that's okay. We're doing the most out here. Go back in with the lighter brown and the fluffy brush and just go around all of the edges to make sure that everything is blended nicely. I'm trying to work out if I want to do more or not. This could be me done. I don't know how much. I don't want to make it much darker than this. I think this is maybe a little bit. I'm now just adding like a darker brown to the very edge, and I'm going to start to bring it down to the outer third of my eye, so that when I do start to add a shimmer as a base on the eyelid, it kind of has something to blend into. This color is like amazing. It's kind of like it's like a red golden shimmery color, and I'll just get a flat brush to apply it. When you're working with shimmery colors, I definitely recommend, if you want them to be like, using Max Prep and Prime. After you dab the brush into the eyeshadow, give it a spray. Just pops off. Like, what? I think that it also helps the eyeshadow stay on like so much longer. So if you ever wondered how I cried so much on Love Island and had my eyeshadow still on, it could be Max Prep and Prime. 2 foundations I rotated between in the villa. One of them is NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation, and the other is Too Faced Born This Way. I like them both. I kind of just had no reason to switch between the two. I just liked having the option, but I think, I don't know what I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with the NARS one today. This is not flattering. Okay, I need to do something more flattering. I like using a brush to apply my foundation more than a beauty blender or a sponge, because I feel like the sponge just absorbs it all. And this is really quick. When we were in the villa, we were literally doing our makeup in like, I want to say 40 minutes, because we had like an hour to get ready for each night, but that also included our hair. So yeah, we didn't really have that much time, which is something I was really shocked by, because I'm just never going to judge anyone on Love Island ever again for having bad makeup, because we were really racing against the clock. And I was like usually the first finished, sorry gals, but I feel like I was. And yeah, I got really quick towards the end doing my makeup. I've always been like quite fast at doing it, but yeah. I want to blend the neck. Some people just don't. I don't know why they don't. I'm sure I've been at fault before, but blend your neck, girls and boys. It's not hard. I then conceal and highlight under my eyes. I'm going to go back in with this Born This Way, with the Born This Way concealer. And I just go under my eyes. Sometimes I do my chin. Sometimes I'll just randomly do here. I'm not really sure why, guys, but I just do. And then my forehead, I will just blend out the concealer. With the concealer under the eye, I kind of bring it upwards to my temples to highlight my cheekbones. I don't know, actually. What am I doing? I'm not sure, but it kind of just, it gives a nice shape. I don't know. Guys, I just saw it once on a YouTube and I've always done it since. I get my translucent setting powder and I'll pack it onto the same sponge and I'll just pack it on under my eye. Whoa. Sorry, that was more than I thought that I was going to do. I feel like this just helps everything stay in place. Like I said, if you're planning on crying, this might help. But I hope you're not planning on crying. I feel like makeup just comes off around your nose. So like I always put stuff around my nose, but I don't know why. I'll also add it to the areas where I conceal, just because I feel like it brightens, the powder brightens those areas. Here's the Fit Me one, the Fit Me Maybelline powder. As you can see, she's running low post Villa, but we make it work. All of the makeup that I'm using today, I feel like is just built to stay. Like I can wear this makeup to like a festival and then go out afterwards and like wake up the next day with this makeup on. Like this stuff does not come off. I like to contour my face with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, a classic if you will. With an angled fluffy brush, I'll go in under the hollows of my cheeks. It's really hard to stop. Like once you start bronzing, like I feel like it's just something that is You need an off button sometimes, but I just don't have that. I'm like, that looks good, that looks good, and then it's too late. I always do like the top of my forehead, then I'll bring it around down below my cheek and then under my chin. I don't really contour my nose, but what I will do is just on that same brush, I'll get some of the bronzer and I'll run it along the tip. And this God's Gift Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light Ambient Bronze something. Basically, this is everything. I know so many people who use this and it literally looks good on everyone. So if you're gonna invest in one thing, I would say this Hourglass bronzer is it. And I will pretty much just throw it all over my whole face. If I could bathe in this, I would. I'll also go back over that spot where I put the nose contour, a bit over the top of my nose, because she's sun-kissed. She's been in the sun. She's sun-kissed without the skin trauma. I never used to be a blush gal, but I'm converted. I've changed, and I feel like blush is essential now in a makeup routine. I use a NARS blush in the shade Deep Throat. Interesting. I apply this with quite a heavy hand. You can't really go wrong with this blush, and that's why I really like it. It's quite sheer, so you can just apply layers until you feel like you've got too much on. But these days I use quite a lot. I'm just like, and I also go over my nose. I personally like using a brown eyeliner. I don't know why, I just feel like it's more smoky, but this will also give something for the lashes to blend into. I also try to just wing it out a little bit. It makes a bit more sense when the eyeliner like doesn't just stop suddenly. I am a firm believer that if you've got eyeshadow on the top, you need it on the bottom, sis. It's weird without it. I'm sorry, it's weird. With a light brown shade, usually the one that I've already put in the crease, and I'll use a flat brush to just line the bottom of my eyelid. The eyelashes that I have always worn and sworn by are these Eyelaw lashes in the style Most Wanted. They're really like fluffy, they give a lot of volume, and yes, they're quite full on. I've always been a fan of like a very dramatic big lash. Like if I'm gonna go to the effort of putting on lashes, and you know, it's not easy. I want them to be obvious. So this has always been my favorite. But in saying that, when I was in the villa, I don't know, I just kind of started to like a more natural look. So just completely forget everything I just said, because now I like these. And they're still fluffy, but they're not as dramatic as these ones. So I don't know which one I'm gonna go for today. Before I put my lashes on, I will go in with an eyelash curler because I just feel like it helps them blend a bit better. For anyone that's never put on fake eyelashes before, holding them so that the tweezers are coming in from the side, so then when you can apply them, you can kind of see where it's gonna go. Because if you're holding your lashes like this, that's confronting. That's like, look. Another hack to make sure that these bad boys do not come off. What I do is I get a little bit of eyelash glue and I will put like a fat glob of it right on the very tip, and then once it's dried a bit, I'll get a tissue and just make sure like it's not too wet, and if it is feeling sticky, then I'll get the eyeshadow and pat it over the top. And by applying a little bit extra glue, they're not flying off. It's a trick I've always done. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I have always done it. So yeah, if you are someone that ever has the inner corner of your lashes coming off, highly recommend adding the little bit of glue to the front. I feel like I've now made this look extremely extra by adding these lashes, but are we here for it? I think we are. For lips, I am quite basic. I'll go in with like a nude pinky liner just to outline the lips. I don't really overdraw my lips. I don't feel like it suits my face, so I usually just stick to like the shape of my lip. Yeah, these are the kind of colors that I usually go for. These two are both from Mecca in the shade Pencil Skirt and Mean Girl. I usually have the Fenty Gloss and I'll use that a lot too, but for today we forgot it, so we're just pretending that everything's fine. Using a very small brush like this, and your highlighter of choice. The one I'm using today is from the Tarte Pro Glow to Go palette, and I'm going for like a golden shade here. Just do the very tip of my nose. And this is why I don't contour my nose, because I feel like by bronzing underneath the nose and doing just a little bit on the very tip with highlight, I feel like that contours it enough. And then I'll also do like a line of highlight just straight down the nose. With a big fluffy fan brush, I'll go over the high points of my face. My favorite and final step. I know I've said I'd have lots of favorites in this, but this is definitely my actual favorite. The Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. Look, I could be wrong because I think I've only ever used this setting spray, but this just stays on forever. If you're gonna be crying, if you're having a big night, if you need your makeup to last from the morning to the next day, then all nighter. And I just feel like it just keeps everything on. I just realized that I hadn't put mascara on. So I've just gone ahead and put it on my bottom lashes, just below where my false lashes are. And also I've done my bottom lashes. I feel like this is so important and I can't believe I missed it out. And there you have it. That is my full makeup routine. I hope you guys found something useful from there, or something that you might like to include in your own makeup routine. This is pretty much the makeup that I wore every night in the Love Island villa, and pretty much the makeup I wear on every occasion in the real world too. This makeup, I think, is quite versatile. If I hadn't added these extremely dramatic false lashes on, and I just added some mascara or like a more lighter pair of lashes, like a wispy, then it's definitely something you could wear to like a lunch with the girls, a more casual dinner and drinks. So yeah, I feel like this makeup look could be used in a lot of situations. But yeah, I hope you found something useful from it. If you have any questions or you want to know anything about any of the products used in this, or the brushes, or anything in this video, please leave all of your questions in the comments below and I will get back to you guys. And also, if there's any videos around makeup or beauty that you would like to see, maybe you want to see like more of a more everyday look, then that's something that I can do too. But yeah, for now, it's just this. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah.